Hi, Don with NASCO. We're going to go over the sensor vac for Pro Health and go over the daily maintenance on it. The first thing I want to go over is the common problems that people have with any of these types of upright vacs. Because these vacuums take an area of 12 or 15 inches and funnel it down into a very narrow space, clogging on these types of vacuums is that would be the most common problem. So what I want to show you how to do is to take apart this vacuum and unclog it without having to call maintenance or having to call somebody in to do that. The whole vacuum comes apart pretty easily. The first thing you should always check, and check every day, is the bag. The bag should never be more than about half full. These bags are very inexpensive, yet it's a triple ply bag. So it's going to filter out a ton of the debris to not get back in the air. The other thing you want to check to make sure that it's clean is this microfilter. This microfilter should slide right out, which it does. And how do we know when to change the microfilter? Real simple, there's a part number on it, and the part number is 5301. If you cannot read that it's part number 5301, you need a new 5301 filter, all right? The vacuum will not operate without having this filter in there, okay? Simply pull this up, slide the filter back in, then you're back in business. The other thing that could clog very easily on these vacuums is the hose. So just squeeze this on the side, hit this button, the hose releases, and now if there's a clog, you can take a broomstick or a mop handle and unclog it. Make sure this is not clogged as well. Set this down to the side. Another area that you want to check is the base of the unit. This gray button right here, you push that in and it releases. So the whole vacuum comes apart neatly. Now I can check the base and see if the base is clogged. There's a trap door right here that allows you to see in to see if it's clogged in here, or if you turn this up, you can look all the way through and see daylight and see that that's clogged or not. Okay? If that doesn't seat right, a lot of times this gets dirty. You can literally take a brush and take the fuzz out of here, or take a screwdriver and just scrape that, and then that door will seat properly. It kind of might whistle a little bit if that's not seated properly. The other thing you can do is check and see if the vac is clogged at the intake. You simply push this gray button and pull up on it. The first time you do it, it's a bit hard. Takes the cap off, takes the brush off. And you can see we have some hair and debris in here, common. The only tool you might need is a pair of scissors to cut the debris out. When this gets down too low and you're setting the vacuum down on 1 all the time, probably time to replace this. You notice the vacuum doesn't move on its own, even when it's all the way down, time to replace this. All of these parts are give or take 20 bucks. So there's nothing that's uber expensive on these things that you can replace yourself. So really, you can call and get these, have these in stock, and with your fingertips, put a new one in. There's no right or wrong, you can't do it the wrong way. It only goes in one way. And then the same thing, push the button. And seat that until it's flush. And you'll know it's in all the way because it will be flush. Okay? The last thing you should check on a regular basis is the exhaust filter. This is not nearly as important as this filter, but yet it's important. This stops any of the carbon brush dust from the electrical motor from blowing back into the air. You'll see this get black on the inside and just slightly gray on the outside. It's important, again, not nearly as important as changing the bag and this filter. Put this back together, push down till it clicks. Put this back in. So that locks it. That's just locked into place. Close this, and that should close thoroughly. If it's not, you probably have some debris. When I close this, watch the bag. See how the bag slides up? When I close it? So that's what mates it with this seal. So if it's not closing all the way, it's either some debris in here or some debris up in that. Now, one other thing that is a common replaced item with this vacuum, very common, is the cord. And I love how you guys stored this cord. That is the proper way to do it. I know they put a bottom cord restraint on here. I don't like that because then people pull it tight and eventually the cord cracks on the inside. Now you need maintenance. They have to take out this screw and they generally cut off about a foot of the cord and re-splice it back on. And then in about 2 years you got a cord that's that long. So don't pull down on this. Either put your hand there, just to leave some slack in it when you wrap it so that it's not being pulled down. Or better yet, I love how you guys did, where you just drape the cord by hand and set it on here. The other reason why I love that is when you've been running this machine for 10, 15, 20 minutes, the cord becomes a little warm. Now it's very susceptible to getting kinks put into it. So the best practice is to go unplug it, leave the cord stretched out, walk back to the vacuum, then start wrapping up your cord. If you start wrapping up from the end of the cord, you could be putting the kinks in and they've got nowhere to go. And then your vacuum will run intermittently. And the quickest thing maintenance will do is take this out, put another handle in, it works perfectly. Now they know it's the cord right here. Occasionally it's the switch, 90% of the time it's the cord right there. So you guys are doing a great job on winding those cords. A couple of real quick things about this vac that make it unique is you should not be going through belts. They have a clutch on this vacuum. So when you run something over, it's going to engage the clutch and shut the machine off. Has anybody ever had that happen? No? Where it shuts off? That's either it's overheated or you run something over, simply turn the unit will shut itself off, pull the clog or the towel or whatever's gotten into the beater bar, pull it out, turn it off, wait a second, and then the vacuum will turn right back on. Okay? One last neat feature, if you have to vacuum underneath any beds or whatnot, you can set this handle up so that it goes right to the floor on the first drop. If you don't like that, you can hit this yellow switch to the side, and now you've got what's called a cord jump. So if I need to go over the cord, I can run over the cord without having the unit eat the cord. Make sense? It'll still go to the floor, but I have to hit that yellow switch a second time. Okay? So it's kind of operator's choice. With or without that cord jump. Okay? That brush turns at a very high rate of speed, about 4 times that of a normal household vac. So if you do run something over, it's going to eat it pretty quick. And with that, I think that covers the main features of this vac. Thank you.